Working hard is not enough. Upgrade your assets, and the assets are the ones that are going to help you actually have a good lifestyle. If you know you're bad with like debts, you can avoid them, because you are going to be swiping and you are going to be stuck in debt. You are going to be declaring yourself bankrupt. The future you deserves a better you than just YOLOing every day and just saying we're winging it and just saying things will figure themselves out, because I promise you they are not going to figure themselves out. Today's video, I'll be talking about some of the worst financial advice I've ever had. Some of these advice you've had from your friends, your family, and most times they're not usually telling you from a bad place. They're telling you from a place of love or place of having lesser knowledge. So the first bad advice I've had is, if you hate your job, just quit. Don't. Like, what are you gonna do next? Maybe you don't even have an emergency fund. If you quit right now, your life is going to be chaos. Your life is going to be a mess. You're going to be calling everyone for rent next month. You don't have an emergency fund, so don't even think about quitting. I know sometimes it can be hard, but as long as you're not getting like hard, you can just take it for a while as you plan yourself. You can stay in the job and plan the exit properly. Make sure you have an emergency fund, which is like 3 to 6 months worth of savings. Stay in the job and plan your exit properly. Make sure you have a few savings here and there. Like, you're not just gonna quit and then you don't have a plan and then now you start regretting. Staying home broke is not cute, manze. You will have mental health issues on top of financial issues, you know. The other one is chase your dreams and not money. Sometimes this advice usually comes from, like, it's generic advice from like online, and most people saying this, they're usually talking from like a place of privilege. They don't understand that sometimes someone has to work for like survival. They don't understand like you just need to like sort your housing, food, rent, and a few savings and a few investment and start your investment journey. You cannot afford to start chasing your passions. You cannot afford to stay out of work. And I know that sometimes people like leave their jobs and they have like they go for their dream and it comes well, but I'm sure they usually have a plan. They usually have a plan somewhere, like a plan B, like a few savings here and there. Don't just leave and chase your dreams and then you are like, your passion is rock climbing and now we're like, oh, it's not paying you. You need to weigh your decisions properly. So the other one is, I was sad, so I went on a shopping spree. This is the fastest way to drain your account, unless you're like a millionaire already, like in dollars. Yeah, you can afford a shopping spree here and there. But if you're trying to build wealth, guys, this is not the best way. Splurging money is like the fastest way to go broke, and money knows when it's being abused. I'm telling you, money knows when it's being abused, and money knows when it's being put into work properly. So if you just use it to soothe like your sadness, it gets addictive and it's also short-lived. You're gonna get stuck with a Chanel bag of $2,000, but you still have a problem. You still have the problem. You're still gonna go through the problem. It's like drinking, basically. You're still gonna wake up and the problem is still gonna be there. So yeah, you need to find better ways of soothing yourself, guys, and you need to find better coping mechanisms, and you need to think twice before you buy anything. Think twice, like think twice, think thrice, put it in your cart, and yeah, go sit on it. Don't just put it in your cart and check out, because you're gonna find yourself with a lot of things that you don't need after you've had it for a while. The other one is, renting is throwing away money. Just buy a house. Yeah, this usually affects mostly mid and low income earners. If you're not someone who's rich and can be able to handle a mortgage properly, please, sometimes this is usually a risk and it might risk you being house poor. I did a video on the same, guys. Please go check it out. And yeah, that's why you should be subscribing, because we talk about so much here. So yeah, you are risking to be house poor because you are going to be stuck in debt for the next 30 years. You're also going to have extra costs that come with owning a house, like house repairs, like painting, like renovations. They come with a lot. So yeah, plan yourself. I'm not saying like never ever buy a house, but make sure you have other assets. Like, make sure you have other income generating assets before you get into a mortgage. And then you're stuck in one place. Maybe you miss out on other opportunities. You miss out on other investment opportunities. You could invest in government securities. You can invest in ETFs and they could give you good returns. But now you're stuck with a mortgage and it's your only asset and you're going to finance it for like the next 30 years. So guys, I'm not saying don't buy a house, but plan yourself. accordingly. So keep in mind that renting can be strategic when used strategically. Like you can rent and then you can use the extra money to build your wealth. You can use the extra money to buy government securities, ETFs, bonds, and to build passive income, to learn skills, like be creative with your money. Money likes when it's being put to work. That's what I know. It also knows when it's being abused. So choose wisely. The next thing is you'll figure it out. Just swipe the card, especially credit cards. This could be your worst nightmare if you misuse them. So later is usually made up of regrets. Later is usually made up of high interests and debt. Like, guys, you cannot afford to be stuck in debt, especially when you're young. This is when you should be building your investments. This is when you should be building your wealth, not accumulating debt and then you're like spending your whole life paying it. Especially bad debt. You can borrow to like start a business or sort a few things here and there, but don't make it a habit. The future you deserves a better you than just YOLOing every day and just saying we're winging it and just saying things will figure themselves out. Because I promise you, they are not gonna figure themselves out. You are gonna be stuck at 65 at the job you hate because you didn't invest when you were young and energetic. So yeah, it's harder to recover from bad decisions when you're older, so be careful. The other one is just have kids, the money will come, and this is very common. Love is priceless, but you need to keep in mind that diapers, food, hospital bills, school fees, a good lifestyle is not cheap. You need your child to not come into poverty, man. Like, why are we perpetuating the poverty cycle? You need to make better decisions, especially if you're someone who wants kids. Because, yeah, you cannot just believe in blind miracles. You cannot just hope. Hope is not a plan. And children deserve planning. So, yeah, you also need them to go to like a good school. If they need to medication, you can afford it without like getting stressed. Let's normalize planned births. Also, as a woman, keep this in mind because you are the primary caregiver. The next thing is invest in only what you can touch. That's a bad advice. Most people are just like focused on real estate, they're focused on physical businesses, but operating from fear only limits you from the digital assets that are quietly making millionaires every day. Things like government securities, things like ETFs, things like stocks, things like real estate investment trusts are quietly making millionaires every day. Don't let fear make you miss out on one of the most powerful wealth building tools, guys. Don't just invest in Kashamba. You just want to accumulate plots everywhere. I know it's a good investment, especially in Africa sometimes, but you also need to have income generating assets. Please focus on that before you accumulate bare land and idle land everywhere. The other one is never ever use credit cards. Credit cards are not evil. Misusing them is. So using credit cards responsibly, paying it in full each month and staying under your limit can help you build a strong credit history and give you access to loans. Especially if you want to take a loan for a house or just an investment, you can access a loan based on your credit history. So protect it and don't avoid credit cards entirely. That will cost you more in the long run. But if you know you're bad with like debt, you can avoid them because you are going to be swiping and you are going to be stuck in debt. You are going to be declaring yourself bankrupt. Yeah, the next one is if you make more, just spend more. You can just swipe, you earned it. The greatest enemy to building wealth is usually lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is when your lifestyle is inflating the same way your income is inflating. Like now you're getting paid some more, so you move into a more expensive house. You're eating out every day. You are going to every concert. You have a pet now. Yani, you are just gaining fancier builds. You're not upgrading your assets. And I don't mean that you don't need to upgrade your lifestyle. Of course, that's the reason why we're working so hard to upgrade our lifestyle and to have like a better lifestyle, to access more better healthcare, to access better food, to access better places, to access better schools for our kids, to access, yeah, that's the reason. But you also need to upgrade your assets, and the assets are the ones that are going to help you actually have a good lifestyle because they will be funding your lifestyle. But now if you're just accumulating liabilities, I'm telling you, you'll be broke in like 20 years to come. So you need to get that in your head. So the other bad advice is just work hard you'll get rich. Oh my god, this is one of the worst advice that is keeping most of us stuck in jobs we hate. It's keeping us stuck in jobs like until we're like 70, because you just focused on working hard. You work so hard, but you're not working smart. Working hard is not enough. And if it was enough, most of us would be rich, because most of us, we tunajua kupiga kazi, we know how to work hard. But wealth comes from strategy, investing, networking, and leveraging on opportunities, and making money while you sleep. Focus on building passive income, guys. And this is where investing in assets comes in. This is where investing in assets that give you dividends, that give you interest, like government bonds, like ETFs, like shares. These are things that will pay you passive income, and they will also help you make money while you sleep. Like, that's the best feeling, because we only have so much we can do in one day, in 24 hours, and I'm sure you can't be at work 24 hours. You need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to call your loved ones, you need to go to the gym, you need to do a lot. So you can only work for like a certain number of hours. What are you doing to make sure you're leveraging on time, you're leveraging on opportunities, you're leveraging on assets, you're networking, you're putting yourself in spaces that can even give you more opportunities, guys. Don't sleep on yourself. So guys, anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed doing it. And yeah, I want to hear some of the worst money advice you've had. Comment it below. Also, please check if you have subscribed. Please subscribe. I am so grateful. I don't take it for granted. And yeah, if you're ready to get the confusion out of your finances, I offer one-on-one strategy calls where we talk about your budget, where we talk about how much you're able to invest per month, what to invest in, different asset classes. If you have debt, how you can start paying the debt, how much you can put into the debt. Yeah, check the link in the description box. Book a one-on-one strategy call. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.